Yeah, welcome back. Zoom actually logged us out, but we are back. Zoom can't stop us. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right. So we were here. We're about to specify the two parameters that our transfer method should take. So it should take where we want to transfer from the object we are transferring from and the object we are transferring to. Or rather, this is even wrong, Seth. You should just only take the budget we are transferring to. Now, why should we take the budget we are transferring to? Because the way we are going to implement this transfer method is we'll do something like this. Let me show you. We'll do food budget dot transfer. So we'll just pass in an amount. Let us say 5,000, and we pass in the name of the budget we are transferring to, clothing budget. So without this, since the statement we wrote is what? Food budget does transfer. It means that automatically we are transferring from food budget. So we don't need to write food budget again. So food budget does transfer. This is where this word self comes in. So this self will represent this food budget. Why this transfer will represent this clothing budget. Remember, we have to put what? An amount here. An amount that we are transferring to. So this self is the food budget. This transfer is the clothing budget. It can also be interchanged. If it were clothing dot transfer this to food budget, clothing will be the self, while transfer to will be the food budget. So I hope you understand that. Now let us write the logic of the transfer method. Now, what is the logic? Similarly, just as we cannot withdraw when the money we have in our balance is small, it also means that what? We have to do this if statement that says if our balance is smaller than the amount we want to transfer, tell the person that your money is not enough for deposit. Please make sure you deposit more before you can do this. But if the money is we have sufficient funds, then we can now continue with our logic. And what is the logic? The logic is that self dot balance, that's the one we are transferring from. We'll subtract the amount from it. We'll subtract the amount we are transferring from it. So self dot balance minus the amount we are transferring. Now we'll handle this transfer to now. Transfer to. Now remember, this transfer to is what? What in actual sense, what does this transfer to represent? It represents the object we are passing in here. And in this case, we are passing in what? Clothing budget. Which means that transfer to we have all the attributes of the clothing budget. And the clothing budget has all the attributes of this budget class. What does this long statement mean? It means that transfer to also have what? A dot balance, as a dot balance what? Variable. So we subtract the amount from the one we are transferring from, and we add it to the one we are transferring to. So transfer to, the balance of transfer to should be transfer to plus amount. Good. So now we have added that amount, the one we are transferring to, and we have subtracted the amount from the one we are transferring from. So the next thing now, our work is done. It's just to return a valid and comprehensive statement to the end user. That will be something like, let us just create a variable called feedback, because it's possible we will have a long sentence. So it's going to be an F string, and it will be you transferred put amount here. You transferred this amount. Let me put dollar sign in front of it. To what? To transfer to. To transfer to dot. Transfer to has a name. So dot name. Since it's transfer to is an object, so it also has a name. So you transferred this amount to transfer to budget. Then let's go to a new line and continue the feedback. So feedback is this plus and equal to sign. For strings, it represents concatenation. That's concatenation means continuation. When we want to break something into several parts or several lines, we use concatenation. So it means we are continuing this statement at the top. And what is the statement? Is you transfer this amount to this budget. Then what's the next thing? You say your the balance for the one we are transferring from self.balance is now, no, it's not self.balance, self.name rather. Your balance for self.name, that's the name of the one we are transferring from, is now self.balance. Wow. Let's move to a new line again. And we concatenate. While the balance for the one we are transferring to, that's transfer to dot name, is now transfer to dot balance. Now we have finished the long statement, so we just return that statement back, return feedback. Now if you notice, for all our methods I've been using return, and return. You can also use print, but for backend development, when you want to do actual create a backend app, you make use of return instead of print. Okay, Edema, what's your question? I'm with you, I'm listening. You can ask your question. Okay.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Transfer to balance, or to transfer to, is it not transfer to dot balance? Yeah. Okay.
Where? What line? Line what?
Move to the side so I'll see the line.
Oh, okay, wait. Where? Is it this one or this one or this one?
Okay, that's else self.balance equal to balance plus amount. The next one that follows.
Okay, this one here. This one
Yeah.
here. Okay, transfer to dot balance. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Thank you for that. That would have given me an error. Okay. Thank you for that. You have a programmer's eye. So transfer to dot balance is equal to transfer to dot balance plus amount. Good. Okay. So in case anybody sees another error, please let me know. I'll appreciate it. So hopefully everything is working very well. Let us test our code. Let's try to transfer from the food budget to the clothing budget. Let's print it out. But now notice something before we transfer. The amount we are transferring is too high. Let us transfer something like 1,000 to be way higher than this. Though there's no error, just tell us that we don't have enough money. Let's just even try it and see. Let us test that our if statement is working. So now let's run the code. CLS, clear my screen, and run it again. Is this first one here? It says you don't have enough cash. That's for this year. Before it start printing the balance for us, it told us that we don't have enough cash because what we want to transfer is 5,000 from food, and food is just 1,500. So our money is not enough. Let us reduce this to like 500. No, it's not here. Yeah. Okay. And let's try it and see what we get. Run the code again. So what do we get? It says you transferred 500 to clothing budget. Your balance for food is now 1,000, while the balance for clothing is now 5,500. Then it gave us back our balances: 1,000, 5,500, and 3,000, which is these three lines of code that ends it. So we've been able to completely solve the problem. Any question? All right, your question.
Yes. Please, can you throw more light on this defined transfer?
Where? Which one?
I understood.
Okay, this transfer method, right? Come again. Yes. I cannot hear you.
I understood the if function. If and else.
Okay, this if and else statement, okay. But from here down.
What I don't understand is starting from self.
Okay, from here downwards, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So
you see my confusion is, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just exactly how apps are created. Like if you use your mobile app and you want to transfer money from your account to somebody's account, it does not happen magically. It's simple maths that is done. What they do is that they take the amount you want to transfer to the person, they subtract it from your current balance that you have. They subtract it. Then they take that person's balance and they add that amount to that person. So that's what is done here. So our current balance, we subtract the amount we are transferring from it. Then where we are sending the money to, we add that amount to it. So that's what is done here. This one is to subtract from our balance. This one is to add to the other balance to the other one receiving the money. So I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Okay.
Good. Any other questions?
Exactly, you have.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So any other person has a question? Any question, any suggestion? Maybe somebody is actually thinking of something new to try. I just want to ask if it's possible. So we have the deposit method, the withdrawal method, get balance, and the transfer method. And all of this can only be possible when we initialize. But it's not all the time we initialize when we are doing object-oriented programming. We only initialize when we want what? When we want to make use of variables. Remember these two variables that we initialize, we made use of them almost in all these methods. So that was how we initialize. So I'll be writing a blog article about the different types of variables we have in a class. We have instance variables. All of these are called instance variables. We also have class variables. Class variables they are declared before the init method. So you can have something like this here. Name is equal to whatever. And you can also have something like price is equal to something. But there's a reason why they are called different names, because they have different uses. I can just briefly tell you that class variables are used when we don't want the value of a variable to change based on different objects we are creating from it. Like if we want our food, clothing, and entertainment budget should have the same name or the same balance, instead of creating it here, we will just create it here and say name is equal to a budget or any other thing, any name you can call it. So even if we create food, clothing, and entertainment, if we just try food budget dot name, this is what it's going to give us. It will give us the same name across the 3 objects. So when if I finish writing the article and you get your hands on it, you'll be able to understand better. So I don't know if all of us, some of us may not know my blog. It is footprints.hashnode.dev. So if you go to it, I have about 6 articles right there concerning beginner Python stuffs. They are helpful. So do well to check it out. And please, we can also follow ourselves on Twitter. My username is George Isiguzo, no space in between. This is it here. So you can follow me, I'll follow back instantly. Thank you very much for your time. I hope I've been helpful to you. And I hope that you are going to make adjustments to these codes that I have written here. Okay, Edema, you can speak.
All right, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I liked your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wanted to know if we can. So you say we can make adjustments to this thing, like catching errors. For instance, somebody just entered a wrong value. Let me say in place of amount, the person
Exactly.
To scatter our whole code.
Exactly. So you can do that as well. So what you will do is that at this point here, when you're taking amount, the first thing you do is to handle the error before you do any other thing. You can make use of a try statement and stuff ahead. You handle it so that it does not affect the logic of the method. That's a very good one. Thank you. So any other question? Okay, now let me include something. There's something about error handling. The best practice when it comes to error handling is to handle an error before logic. Error before logic. Make sure you cover up for each method you are doing. Make sure you handle errors first before you now go handle the logic of the method. These are the logic of the method here. So make sure the first thing you do is to handle error, then you do the logic, then you return a valid statement, a comprehensible statement to an end user that is not tech inclined, that does not know anything about technology. That way our app will be useful no matter what. And some people might say they don't like object-oriented programming, but the truth is when you go to Django and you start doing things and you start working in database, object-oriented programming is what you cannot dodge it. You'll be making use of it a lot because it will help you to write faster codes. You don't have to be repeating yourself over and over again. So I thank you very much for your time. And all of us are still on the group. Any question you can post it on the group, or you can send me a direct message. If I'm online, I will reply you. So thank you. And don't forget to follow me. I'll follow you back on social media and read my blog. Thank you very much. Do have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, George.
Sure.
Oh yeah, good night.
Good night. Bye-bye, everyone. Let me stop this.